Oh, damn, you just blocked me right away, didn't you? Can't see my big nose anymore. Yeah, we're getting ready for SWFL Live here on with this is Bobcat Country, so we're just getting everything together. Is the sound good over there on the? All right.
Just remember, we have headphones on every time you move the microphones. It's much louder in here than it is out there.
Let's test it with her.
Thank you for that.
That wasn't very nice.
Okay, I'm gonna turn on the simulcast.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rich Suggs, and welcome to another edition of This is Bobcat Country, a weekly show here on SWFL Live and WKDW 97.5 FM here in Northport, where we talk Northport High School football with head coach Brian Hatler. We want to thank our sponsor this week, the Suggs Group, for all your accounting, payroll, and business tax preparation needs. Call the Suggs Group at 941-254-6547. On this show, we talk about all the great things happening with the team. We'll talk about last game, the upcoming game, and hopefully inform you about these great student athletes and the coaches. So sit back, relax, and let's welcome head coach Brian Hatler to the show. How you doing, Brian?
Good. How are you?
Coach. Wow. After, you allowed me to come to the game.
Mm-hmm.
You told me after the first game, I didn't know if you'd ever want me there another game.
I don't think you were the problem, so.
Well, so Friday night, show up at right around 6 o'clock, and was there till about 10, and we never did play the game.
No, we didn't. It's just the weather's kind of winning football games right now, so we decided we wanted to play. Their game had been canceled the week before, so I know they were anxious to play. So we kind of said if we could get kicked off before 9:45, 10 o'clock, that we'd go ahead and play. We were down to about 12 minutes to go on the Lightning, and then we had another lightning strike at 9:30. So at that time, we decided to move the game to Saturday.
Well, that was a whole different ball game.
Well, yeah, and that didn't. It was supposed to be Saturday at 11 o'clock. They had some transportation issues.
Now they're coming out of Cape Coral, right?
And so they had to take a trip back. It was about an hour and 15 minutes for them, so they had to travel back. Then they had to get transportation, everything set up. They thought they would be able to play at 11 o'clock. Transportation issues happened, so it got pushed back. I think we kicked off at 12:45.
Right.
I think our kids really handled it well, and change is difficult, and they remained calm because we had gone out and started our warm-up procedure. Then it got canceled again. They went back inside. So and I think that's some of the experience that we have. We've got a lot of seniors on the team, so we've been through this. I mean,
right.
Typically each year we probably have 3 to 4 games that end up being on delay of some sort or another. So I thought their focus was good, and they stayed with it, and we were able to go out and perform pretty well and get a win.
Okay, so as we were saying, the Friday game was postponed until Saturday. I showed up about 10 o'clock, and because of the transportation issues, and you got to understand this is a holiday weekend, and so there were probably people that were involved with that might not have been around.
It's there's a lot of different factors with it, and it wasn't any fault of Ida Baker High Schools at all. So
okay, and so they did come and kick off, like you said, was at 12:45.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. From the start, those offenses were running.
Yeah, I think the final score ended up being 52-35. We played much better defense in the second half. In the first half, we just had some assignment errors that made it easy for them, and you got to give them credit. They took advantage of it, and so it was a lot of scoring in the first half.
Right.
And then we were able to maintain that in the second half, and we were able to shut them down a little bit.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Devin Allen. I mean, oh my gosh, he threw 5 touchdowns and ran for one.
Yeah, he's he's playing really good football for us right now, and we're very happy about that. He's a senior. He's got a lot of experience, and
but 5 touchdowns.
He's playing extremely well right now,
right?
And he's become a leader on our team. He's one of our captains. And he's doing a lot of good things. He's, we've talked about him before. He's a 4-sport athlete at the high school. He also plays basketball. He's on the track team. He's on the weightlifting team in addition to football. So he competes in a lot of different areas, and I think that's really helped him. And he's really grown, really as a person, as much as a player. But he is playing extremely very well right now.
Looking at his stats. 13 for 27. I would have never thought that. Because that's less than 50%. But he seemed to be right on target, and especially with CK Polis. Those guys have kind of, I guess, hooked up with some kind of a deal because they were press covering CK. It seemed like in the very beginning.
Yeah, we expected that their corners would play press and try to run some safety help over the top. We were able to get in some formations that made their safety have to cheat the other way. So when we can get him one-on-one, we feel pretty good about that, and we're going to take some shots. I think his completion percentage is a little deceptive. I think sometimes the passes that you throw away are just as valuable as the passes you throw. So, offensively, we've been pretty good about protecting the ball, and we're not turning it over. We did have 2 fumbles in the game that we wish we didn't, but our defense responded very well to that and was able to stop them right away.
Right. He did throw for 233 yards, and 157 of those. Let me see. CK, what did he end up with? Maybe 177.
He was well over 100. I know that.
Right.
And Devin's been over 200 yards passing each week. He's thrown a lot of touchdown passes and against only 1 interception so far. So we hope that trend continues. We also ran the ball very well. We had 2 runners that were over 100
yards each.
That was Brian Taylor and Javon Howell. And Javon Howell, I think he's quietly doing a lot of good things for us on offense. He gets in there and he gets tough yards when we need him, and he's played extremely well as well this year.
I will say that I noticed that he's not one that goes down on the first contact. He can take a hit.
He's really done a good job of
keeps the legs going,
getting stronger in the weight room, and he plays with some physicality that's really nice to see. And we've got several kids at running back that can go in, and they're all a little bit different. But Javon's been, like I said, quietly he's doing a really good job for us, and we're excited about his progress as well.
Okay. So let's talk about offensive, defensive, and you never did announce last time, but who are the captains of the team?
What we do, we voted, the team voted, and we have 2 captains. That's Devin Allen and CK Poulos. And then we use our players of the week to be the other captains for the week.
Okay.
So, and we're a little bit behind on that since we played on Saturday, and we did have a bye week. We gave the kids Monday off. I told the coaches to go home and enjoy the holidays. So, we've been watching film on our own and doing some of that stuff on our own. So, this week it'll be a little bit different.
Right.
Having a bye week, which I think is at a good time for us. We can get healthy, and we also have a district game coming off the bye week, so that'll be very important for us.
Okay. Speaking of getting healthy, just bumps and bruises. Are there any injuries?
Yeah, we've just got some guys that are a little bruised up right now, and this will be an opportunity for them to get healthy going into the district part of our schedule and everything like that. So it'll be good.
Well, and I will say playing at 12:45 on the Saturday is a little bit different than playing at 7:30 on.
Yeah, it was pretty warm.
Really warm.
it was warm.
You were even warm down there.
And I think our kids handled it very well, though.
Yes, they did.
And really, that's, as an athlete, you have to prepare for that, especially down here in Southwest Florida. So you have to hydrate constantly. You can't just do it once the game starts. So I think they were prepared, and we had a great summer of conditioning, and so I think they can handle that stuff, and they reacted very well to it. But it was, especially in the second half, it got extremely warm.
And, there wasn't a breath of wind in the first half. I mean, there was not.
No, it was
There was not a breath of wind. I was up on top, and I'm going, man, I'm thinking I was going to get a little bit of breeze up there, and there was none. And, one good thing about, I guess, Florida athletics is they do require water breaks, and they did have ample water breaks there.
Yeah, we have mandatory water breaks halfway through each quarter,
right?
And they try to get it, when there's a dead ball situation, as close to halfway as they can. They don't want to disrupt the flow of the game. So that does create an opportunity to hydrate more. We have a lot of two-way players too. So
yes.
our kids play a lot of football, and they've just got to take care of their bodies and be ready for that.
And then I noticed toward the end of the game, CK actually played a little quarterback. Is that just to give Devin a?
We wanted to give Devin a break, and our backup quarterback wasn't suited up for the game due to an injury. So we just wanted to get Devin out of there. Make sure he got through the game healthy, and so CK went and took a couple snaps at quarterback.
Yeah.
It was on the last series, so it wasn't a lot. We were able to virtually get everybody in the game too, which was nice. It's a good for them to get experience in a game situation, and some of those young guys and guys that typically aren't in there at the beginning of the game got in there and did some really good things for us. So that's a good thing too, when you can get other guys' experience in a game.
Well, and that was quite an offensive explosion. I mean, 52 points, and it doesn't seem like that's going to be your issue at all. I mean, like you said, after the game when I spoke to you and you iterated on it here, the fact that there were just some assignments on defense.
We've got to clean up some things on defense, and once we do that, I think we'll be fine. Obviously, our run defense against them was very good. I think.
Yeah, they had no one over 57 yards.
Yeah, we held them in check pretty good running the ball. We gave up a couple big plays in the passing game, and the good thing about it is it's correctable.
Right,
it's correctable. So,
all right, so out of Baker. I guess they've suffered from not playing, and it seemed to be that was a part of some of their issues, was just that they had never.
Yeah, their game got canceled the week before, and then their kickoff classic game, very similar to ours, they didn't play a full game. So
right,
this was really their first regular season game, and then you throw in the postponement and all that stuff, and those are a lot of factors. And I think they've got some good players. They're pretty young, so
right.
I think our experience really helped us out in this game.
Well, let's talk about the fact that they missed a game. Their first game was against Lakewood Ranch, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
No, it was Palmetto Ridge was the kickoff classic game, I believe.
Well, the first game of the season.
Yeah, and the game that was canceled was Lakewood Ranch.
Now, from what the talk, and I was not aware of this, and I said it's kind of new this year. Maybe you can point it out that they actually give you point system on your games that you play based on the ranking.
Yeah, they've changed the playoff format. The district champion still gets an automatic bid into the playoffs, and then from there it goes to a point system that they've established. It's very complex, I think. There's victory points, there's loss points, there's a lot of different stuff.
Well, basically what I'm saying is Lakewood Ranch would be hurt by not playing.
I would think that there's got to be a contingency that if you only play 9 games, that's factored into it somehow.
According to those people in the press box, it's a detriment. That's why they really try to play those games.
Well, there was several games canceled, last week, and there's the potential for games to be canceled this week as well. So I think, obviously, that's something that has to be looked at to keep it equitable if you have a game canceled, because that's not within your power as a team.
Right.
So.
Well, you won't happen to have a game canceled this week because you guys are.
No, we have a bye week. So we're safe from being canceled this week, and unfortunately, it's a little scary right now that there might be another hurricane coming into town that could affect some games and things like that. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it turns and goes somewhere else.
Right. So tell me about what goes on during a bye week in relationship to your schedule. Do you let them off next week a little bit more or more this week?
We'll probably go a little bit lighter this week, and then next week we'll get back into a regular game week. So we'll take tomorrow and reevaluate the game from last week and look at the film, and then we'll start preparing a little bit for Sarasota. But we'll probably go shells on a couple days and maybe go full pads and go an abbreviated practice on a couple days. But it's we still want to stay sharp with what we're doing, but it's an opportunity to give them a little break and let their bodies recover. We're still lifting weights and doing that stuff. So just not having to play on Friday, we'll do some things. And obviously, as a coaching staff, we want to go watch Sarasota play Friday night.
Oh, you are?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
they're playing Booker. So
now, who did they play last Friday night? And you'll have film on all of this.
We'll have film eventually on that, but they probably don't want to exchange to give us another week. So we'll probably exchange film with them on Saturday. And I believe they played. I don't even know who they played, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You're not looking ahead of the game. You're worried about this.
We had so much stuff going on this weekend that I really wasn't worried about that stuff.
Okay. Well, one thing that changed between the first game against Port Charlotte and the game against Ida Baker is you were calling offensive plays.
I was not calling the offensive plays.
Oh, were you the decoy?
No, I was. What we've done is our offensive.
You were out there barking something to him.
Coach Baldwin is our offensive coordinator, and he's been down on the field, last year and then going into this year, and he just wanted to. We sat down and talked, and he wanted to go up in the box. And so I said, okay, well, if you're going to do that, I communicate the formations, and that's really what I was communicating formations, and then we have James West, who's our running back coach, was communicating the calls into him. So Coach Baldwin called the offense. He just did it from upstairs.
When did he make that decision? Like 10 minutes before the game, because it was so hot out there. He was up in air-conditioned comfort up there.
Yeah, but it's pretty warm up in our box too. So
no!
I don't know if it was much better up there. But we had talked about it, and Coach Baldwin, I was very fortunate to have him get on our staff. We coached together in Colorado. We've known each other a long time, and when I was in Colorado, I was the offensive coordinator out there, and so. We just talked about, advantages to being in the box as opposed to being on the field and things like that. And he wanted to give it a look up there. And so we decided to try it this week. And I said, if it doesn't work, we can always change back. So,
well, something tells me 52 points that something worked.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it if I was saying, so, but it's a very different perspective up there, because you can see things. So you see the field better.
Right.
You also don't have to wait on information such as down and distance because you see it. And it's a little less distractions up there.
Right.
So you can really just relax and get into a flow of calling plays. So
did you have your defensive coordinator up there too?
I've been calling the defense. So
well, I know I heard you barking out a whole bunch of stuff.
As a head coach, I have to.
Yeah.
I think I need to be on the field, and that's where I want to be. So, we have some guys in the box that give us information, but the way it's been working right now is Coach Baldwin's been calling the offense, I'm calling the defense, and then Coach Curtis is our special teams coordinator, and he takes care of all that stuff.
Okay. Now, one thing that, and it wasn't a big issue, but seemed like was that the normal officiating crew that was going to do Friday night?
It was the same crew. They were able to come back because we spoke to them Friday night. That's another thing, when those cancellations happen, you have to get your officiating crew in place because some of those guys work youth football games on Saturdays,
right,
and other things like that. So we were pretty fortunate to have a full crew because we've done some games on Saturdays where you have a partial crew. So we did have a full crew, and it was the crew that was assigned to the game on Friday.
I know there was a couple of issues with the running out of time between plays, and it was like, I happened to look at him after you made the comment. Well, it doesn't think he's not raising his hand. And I mean, I think he's doing like this. And if if the quarterback happens to be glancing away, he's not going to see that.
Yeah, we were trying later in the game. We were just trying to slow the game down, and get out of there. Take some time off the clock.
Right.
And we probably didn't manage it as well as we
I know you can't say anything about
No,
I can.
Officials. I mean, I think they did an extremely good job, and
it was hot out there for them, and that was actually
there's different things. Typically, what we look for is the back judge to count the last 5, and they said that they're only required to hold their hand up, and then they don't count. Typically, because that's what we tell our quarterback to look for, is to see them counting to get the snap count off.
Right.
And so that's something we've got to get better as a staff and manage that a little bit better. It didn't hurt us any, but that's something we've got to be better at.
Okay, so Sarasota, that the game is going to be a home game.
Yep.
And it's not this coming Friday night, and for the life of me, I don't have my calendar. Let me pull my calendar up.
Week from Friday, I believe.
Week from Friday.
Be on the.
Well, let me.
I don't look that far ahead. I take it day by day.
Yes, you do, don't you? The 15th. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be September 15th, home game, 7:30. Yep.
District opener.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that, and we want to make sure that we're prepared and ready to go.
Well, I know you think every team is the best team, but I mean, in reality, where do you see them, or where are they projected to rank in the district?
I think they're a solid football team. They're well coached, and they're going to be sound, and they have a young running back. He played for them last year as a freshman,
right.
And he's a handful. So, and he's got a lot of experience, even though he's only a sophomore. So, we've got to be able to handle him. And we've just like every game, it's about us. We've got to execute as well as we possibly can.
Right.
And we got to play our best football, and that's how we kind of approach it. We want to go week by week. We want to get better every day. Every time we have an opportunity to practice or be in the weight room or watch film, we want to get better from it. And they'll create some challenges for us. I have not seen them play yet this year. We will go watch them, and we'll get film on them, and we'll get into that process.
Right.
But
well, I'll tell you right now,
typically they've been a struggle for us. So we have to be ready to play.
Right. I just think that Devin and CK are keeping coaches up late at night, because it seems to me, and you're a judge of talent. I'm just a.
Well, I think one of our greatest assets on offense is that we've got some balance.
Right.
We can run the ball. We can throw the ball. We can do a little bit of both, and so being multidimensional, I think really helps us. Our offensive line, coming into this year, very young. We had a lot of seniors up front last year, and these young kids have played extremely well.
Extremely well.
And we hope that continues. But having balance is very important for us offensively, and
right.
We want to continue to be able to do that.
I happen to be really close to the defensive coordinators up there for Ida Baker, and they were commenting about the defensive line. Our defensive line was getting so much more pressure than they wanted them to do. Said like their offensive line had no push whatsoever. So I mean, I think that's something that should be.
Yeah, I thought we played well at times on defense. And we tried to bring
You're
pressure.
A defensive-minded coach.
We tried to bring pressure, and we just gave up some big plays. But,
right.
We did some really good things as well, and We played a lot of nickel against them, and then we got into some of our base stuff. But, we had a lot of guys go out there and play on defense, and we're rolling guys, and and they're all contributing right now. So that's a good thing. And the things that we didn't do well, we feel like they're correctable things. So we'll just keep working on it and try to get better.
Absolutely. All right, so the 15th, September 15th, put that on your calendar, 7:30 at the Preserve, Northport High School. Going to be the Bobcats over the Sarasota, or are they the
Sarasota Sailors?
Sailors, that's right, Sarasota Sailors. Come on out. It was a great turnout on Friday night. Unfortunately, I think everybody had some issues on Saturday. So
yeah, I think it it obviously affected the crowd size, but there was a lot of people there Friday night,
Yes,
and we still did have a lot of people come out and support Saturday, and we completely appreciate that, and that's great.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks, Coach, for coming in and talking with us. I invite everyone to listen in every Monday here on WKDW 97.5 FM and SWFL. Did your wife get the right one?
I think so.
Okay, here on Facebook, where we talk Northport Bobcat football with head coach Brian Hatler on This Is Bobcat Country. Again, I want to thank our sponsor this week, the Suggs Group, for all your accounting, payroll, and business tax needs. Give them a call at 941-254-6547. Thank you for watching and listening in, and we'll see you next week.
Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats.